Hey, it's a Gator Tuesday. Whoa, look at that hat. It's Rumor and Innuendo. I'm Dominic D'Angelo of AdFreeShows.com, SEScoops.com, and OneTrueSportTV.com. But I'm feeling a little swampy in here because of Robert Karpelos, WE Creative _ish. Robert, congratulations to you and your Florida Gators, my man.
What a game. What a night. What a terrible, terrible booking that was. But in the end, the Florida Gators somehow, some way, pulled out the miracle of all miracles and won the NCAA national championship. Could not be happier. Could not be more excited. The game tried to kill me.
Dude,
And,
right?
much like Jey Uso, I'm not afraid anymore
Good. It's good to know.
till old man Marley shows up, and then I will run and scream. But it is great to be a Florida Gator. It is great to be here talking with you all, talking with Dominic D'Angelo, who again is hanging by that brick wall like McBain. And we are ready to we're ready to rock and roll, man. We'll say hi to some of the folks who are joining us here today. Joseph Wade Walters says, "Morning, rumor heads." Wrestling Old Head said, "I wanted to see Jey Uso take a page out of the Princess Bride movie and go full Inigo Montoya monologue." No, we were close. It was very much a Spike Lee joint. That is what we kind of expected. I kept joking for weeks that this was going to be that, and we were close. And Dre Owen says, "Just made it. Congrats, Robert. They finished the story. They did." And Alt Jake takes on with a good morning, gang.
Yeah.
It's simple enough. It's morning. It's 12:03 here. It's close enough. We're actually about to get some crazy thunderstorms rolling through at any moment. So I'm excited. And I'm excited to. I have not read the run sheet. I was literally on it. I was literally trying to get off a phone call to be here.
I'm glad you have the priorities and stake in your mind, though, Robert, where you got to be and everything like that. I appreciate it.
Yes, but I'm going to assume that we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw.
Oh, we are, Robert. It so happens to be on the docket. And yes, an episode of Raw, the penultimate episode, as Michael Cole called it too, before WrestleMania. So, yeah, overall, Robert, what did you think of this episode of Raw and the build towards Mania? Did it get you more engaged, or was it just part of the course, or a little lesser than?
There's a line from the movie Saturday Night about the first episode of Saturday Night Live. The Lorne Michaels character says it's workmanlike. It has its pockets out. That was this episode of Raw. They had a lot of heavy lifting to do for a lot of the unspectacular but essential elements going into WrestleMania. They had, when you're looking at it from a creative team perspective, there are certain goals, certain things you need to accomplish within an episode of Raw or SmackDown. Some are going to be flashier than others. This was not a flashy episode of Monday Night Raw for the most part. There was no John Cena. There was no Cody Rhodes. There was no Roman Reigns. It seemed like there was no CM Punk. So you needed to lay the groundwork for a lot of the undercard matches. And one of the themes that Hunter seems to have adopted this year for WrestleMania, and this is an interesting shift for the company, is it's a little bit of a meritocracy for those wrestlers who have worked really hard in the ring for the last year and who deserve a moment in the sun. It's kind of been a criticism of WrestleMania, is that there are the people who constantly work day in, day out in the WWE, and then you get the part-timers, you get the celebrities, you get the headline names, and they get the WrestleMania spot, and everybody else just kind of gets, shuttered into a battle royal. But I think the takeaway is Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, and Chad Gable getting the opportunity to have WrestleMania matches because of what they've put in as a body of work in the last year shows a little bit of a sea change in the WWE, Dom.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see that. And I like the matchup Chad Gable has with Rey Mysterio or Grande Americana, if you will.
It may be El Grande Americana. I misspoke. I apologize to my friend Chad Gable. He would have told me he would have given me the Iggy. He would have given me the heads up and been like, "Hey, I'm actually El Grande Americano." He is not, as I drink my
He's
own
been sick, Robert. He's been sick.
Grande Americano.
Okay.
Actually, hey, look at this.
Hmm?
Beverage Buddies, like that terrible Gronk commercial, the whatever that thing is, the
Dunkin'
Bundle
Donuts.
Bros. I don't know. Gronk is he's a big dumb man. Joseph Wade Walters, interesting comment here. Jay Sherman on the main event segment. It stinks. It stinks. We'll get to the main event segment, but other stuff to accomplish on the show, Mr. D'Angelo.
Right.
Starting with we've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks, this is going to be a triple threat match for the Raw Women's title. And guess what? Dom, who looks like he's about to go compete on Survivor with that bandana, it's a triple threat.
How about that? Jeez, oh man.
How about it?
We got Rhea Ripley, we got Bianca Belair, and we have Io Sky. I was always kind of out on the triple threat match and still kind of am, but I mean, I think this should be a good match either way. But ultimately, did you like this aspect and how they executed it, Robert? Ooh, putting it on backwards.
Look, I think this was when this was originally engineered, constructed, mapped out. This was Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. This is Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and we're going forward with it. I think you would have done a huge disservice to the WWE if Io Sky did not get a chance to compete at WrestleMania. She has really been one of the best in-ring performers, regardless of gender, in the WWE in the last year. So this is giving her a spotlight match. It's giving her an opportunity. And it's somebody different for them to play off of. You're still going to be able to get the Rhea Bianca interactions, but those little moments when Io Sky is able to interject herself are really going to be something special.
I could envision this match kicking off night 2 of Mania almost. You figure you bookend it with 2 triple threat matches, night 1 and then night 2, and you get the crowd hot for something like this. And those women are capable of doing that. So we'll see where it lines up. But yeah, overall, I'm happy Io Sky's on it, and I just triple threat matches are not my thing, but.
I don't think they're anybody's thing. I think that they're just kind of it's a necessary evil, but it's something that'll hopefully get a rise out of the crowd. And
Yes.
speaking of getting a rise, can we talk to you about Blue Chew? That's right, guys. Blue Chew has come back. And so will you. Blue Chew is putting its money where its mouth is and offering you a month free. Process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped directly to your door. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The best part, it's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. I didn't think anything could feel as good as the Gators winning the national championship, but I think Blue Chew's going to prove me wrong. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this Gator-centered episode of Rumor and Innuendo. I will steal the line from the wrestling old head who says, "I'll be bricked up like the wall behind Dom."
Ooh, I like it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. A lot of people seem to love the Lyra Valkyria Bailey match. What did you think of that, Mr. D?
I did. I liked it too. I like it. Created some thoughts about where to position Bailey moving forward in certain ways. I love that she used the Lion Tamer as a submission hold, and the refs sold it really well. Like really gave you the intrigue that hey, Lyra could tap here. And so I don't know. I'd love to see what they do with Bailey. They tease a little bit of a heel turn at first, her walking away, but then hugging, and then I don't know where you go with Bailey, but I do think that there might be a lane of almost like a Lionheart Chris Jericho persona for her moving forward.
I think we know where this is going. And this is kind of what we were expecting for the last few weeks. And then on SmackDown on Friday, Adam Pearce announced a women's gauntlet match to determine the number one contenders for Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez's tag titles. And it felt like it was going to be Lyra and Bailey. They just
Mhm.
needed a way to get there. We now have our path. We have our vehicle, which is this gauntlet match. And now we have the intrigue that Bailey is frustrated that she can't beat Lyra. And she walked away and then came back and didn't shake her hand, but she hugged her. And that
Right.
hug has become more ominous of late in the Bailey world. So I feel like we're going to get the match at WrestleMania. We're going to get a Bailey FTR style heel turn, and her and Lyra can tear it up for the next few weeks.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like a good direction there, Robert. Very good
Well,
direction.
speaking of good directions, and never mind, we already did the Blue Chew ad. Um, a direction that they chose to go in is the Netflix synergy, and we got Bert Kreischer.
Yes, we did. That was unexpected. Did not see that coming, but he was backstage. Had this interaction with Chad Gable at first, and then we got Otis, and the shirts came off. Um, yeah,
So I
Robert.
texted this to you guys.
Hmm.
When you use a celebrity, it's nice to use them and integrate them in a way that makes sense with the characters in the show. Best example of this is Bob Barker hosting
Oh,
that Price is Right segment, or when they brought in the Muppets and you had Seamus and Beaker.
yes.
If you have Bert and you're like, all right, it's a fat guy who takes off his shirt. Hey, we got a fat guy who takes off his shirt. Let's put them together. This was fine. Bert's not my style of comedian. Thankfully, our working stiff comrades, Dan, Mike, and Scott, have all said really nice guy. Always enjoyed him, but not someone I'm necessarily going out of my way to watch. Neither for a lot of people is Karrion Cross.
No, that's true, Robert. Yes, he was slated. Next week, it's going to be him and AJ Styles as a setup too for AJ's feud with Logan Paul. So, what do you think of incorporating Cross into this mix?
He's a guy to feed to AJ to get to the Logan Paul match. And Karrion Cross is the kind of person behind the scenes who would be over the moon excited to put over AJ Styles. I think he's just happy to be there. He's happy to be a part of the WrestleMania build. This, whispering in people's ears. It's kind of like, well, we couldn't do this with Sean O'Hare all those years ago, so we're gonna try it now. And if anybody's going to be able to remind people that Karrion Cross can go in the ring, it's going to be AJ Styles.
Yeah, yeah, it should be a fun little setup for things. And yeah, they've been doing a good job at incorporating him on the program week in and week out, and in small ways but effective ways, I think too. At the same time, uh, was the match effective between the LWO and American Made and El Grande Americano?
This felt very reminiscent of WCW Nitro. This was we're going to put a bunch of cruiserweights, we're going to put a bunch of high flyers into a match. It'll be entertaining, but it's not going to be memorable. All due respect to Silver King, who's just a few wins away from becoming Gold King.
Oh,
But this was fine. This was, let's remind you what these guys can do in the LWO. They can do the high. They can do the flippy move.
yeah.
As the Death would say in our booking meeting. Whatever, we get them guys in there to do the Humakamana and do the flippy moves. People gonna love them. We got the Mexico riding out there on them lawn
Cool.
mowers. Vroom vroom. No, I'm not gonna get you very excited. This was fine. This was a fine match. Like, what if you're in the creative room, you're like, we got to kill some time. We got to build to a segment later. Throw those guys out there. And someone that they threw out there was Gunther, who, when he
Yes.
took off the jacket, giant ass IRS.
My goodness. Yes. It's true. Holy smokes. And we got a confrontation between him and Jay Uso. Jay, very emotional, asked about Gunther's mother, if he had a mother, if he talked to his mother. And he just talked to his. And she said, "Why didn't you
It's a
protect
lot.
your
There,
brother?"
there were so many pronouns in that sentence. Jim Ross's face just slumped slightly further.
Her. Well, yes. Well, we had this confrontation, Robert. Jey Uso is not afraid of Gunther anymore. Are you afraid of this matchup?
I'm afraid at how lackluster this match does feel. The beats themselves are not bad. The problem is Gunther was not properly established as the unstoppable monster heel champion.
Mm-hmm.
In his booking, he has been, but not the way WWE has promoted him. Go back to that Netflix premiere. Gunther was an afterthought. Here, it's a fine mid-card feeling feud. Like, the beats are there. You have Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble. He's the underdog going up against the unstoppable badass, the mountain that nobody can climb. He's being told you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it, and his confidence is eroding that he's a sports entertainer and he's not a wrestler, and he's starting to believe it. And then you sacrifice his brother, and Gunther literally wears Jimmy Uso like it's in The Revenant. And here you are for the I'm not afraid of you, you should be afraid of me. And This feels like it's for the Intercontinental title. And that's unfortunate, and it shouldn't be the case, but it is.
Yeah, I think Gunther and how he reacted in this promo and segment and everything like that, I think he was great. I do think he was great. And I think if you just watch him, he feels like a main eventer and he feels like a world champion and certain things like that. But to your point, I think the build and how they've been progressing this from a storytelling standpoint has not done him the service of happening that. And same with Jay too. I think I understand what they were doing with this and kind of elevating it a little bit, but yeah, it feels a little undercooked for two guys that are that can be over, I think, in bigger ways.
All I kept thinking was, Gunther covered himself in Jimmy Uso's blood last week. It must have stunk. Speaking of stink, we're going to talk to you about our friends at Mando. Hopefully, Gunther had himself some Mando sitting there in the locker room after, because once you've washed off the blood of your enemies, you're going to want to make sure you get it everywhere. And Gunther had it everywhere. He had it on his thigh folds, his belly button. It probably seeped into his butt crack, his feet, his armpits, his trunk area.
Mm.
But Mando was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal body odor was being misdiagnosed and mistreated, and it is clinically proven to block odors all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. This feud may stink, but you're not going to stink, because all these products are baking soda free, they're paraben free, and they are proven to control odor better than just soap alone. Mando Starter Pack is available for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. I just re-up mine because, like I said, I'm leaving for Vegas next week. I want to make sure that I'm good and my travel bag is good. And as a special offer for our listeners, all your special listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Just use code RUMOR at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. It truly matters. It helps us out. You'll smell fresher. You'll still stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando.
Oh, Mando, Mount Fuji man. I'm a Mount Fuji man. Hey, they had a mountain to climb in this tag team title match with the War Raiders taking on New Day. Not the biggest takeaway of that segment, because we had Tony Hinchcliffe on commentary joining Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. We've been very active in the group chat about this, Robert. But yeah, what did you think of Tony Hinchcliffe's implementation behind the commentary table?
I have said in the past some less kind things about Tony.
Mm.
Of all the Tonys that we have talked about on this program, Tony Hinchcliffe might be my least favorite. But I am so grateful and thankful for Mr. Tony Hinchcliffe. I'm going to send him the fruit basket of his choice, because last night during his commentary segment on Raw, he showed just how difficult what I do on the WWE Creative _ISH X account of live tweeting Raw for 2.5 to 3 hours. He was so unfunny. He was so lost. He was so in the woods. It was truly one of the worst things I've ever seen. It made me miss Mark Madden. It made me miss that guy that did. I don't know the guy was going. This guy did wrong. Maybe miss Rod Trongard. Go look up Rod Trongard, kids, and you are going to see the levels. Bring in the Duke of Dorchester, who used to do commentary, and
Who
it
was the
was
guy?
better.
Who is the guy in your house? He's like, what? Wait, is he Art Donovan? Was it Art
Art
Donovan?
Donovan, yeah. Bring in the dig up Art Donovan, prop his corpse next to Cole and Pat. And maybe if the jaw doesn't fall off, you'll just hear the faint zombie whisper of, how much do you think that guy weighs? Would have been infinitely better than whatever the heck. I almost cursed. We almost did it. It almost happened. Didn't happen. We pulled back from the edge there. Like, I admittedly am not a professional comedian. I host a wonderful show with professional comedians, people who have written for and performed on shows that I love and admire, including Conan O'Brien, Comedy Central specials. The fact that Tony Hinchcliffe made me look like George Carlin with what I'm doing out there on X. What was it like? Michael calls, you're really old, and you probably called David versus Goliath. Like literally, Jerry Lawler's corpse sat up.
Look,
it rolled over from whatever, let's just say generously, 18-year-old gal he was hanging out with, and turned and just went. If but for the stroke and the heart attack, and a lot of these arenas now being near schools, I could still be here and be doing a better job than this schmuck who's hosting the roast of WrestleMania. When again, a cavalcade of actually talented comedians who have roasted pro wrestling for years and were available to do this. But no, this is a great idea. Let's put this jackass on TV during an actually built World Tag Team title match. Wrestling Old Head says Andy Kaufman coughed from the coffin. First of all, we know Andy Kaufman's not dead. We know that he moved to the Caribbean. He occasionally plays Tony Clifton, and he is having a wonderful life somewhere. We think, we hope. But what the actual? The dude's reading jokes off of his phone, so he clearly prepared for this, and he crapped the bed so bad.
Robert, he felt like a guy trying to be a comedian. Like,
no, it felt like he won a contest. It felt like this was a Make-A-Wish. It felt like this guy was hours away from death, and they propped this creepy, skinny, weird little scarecrow-looking this guy, and they I'm using guy in the loosest way possible, this tiny little weasel of a person, and let him go out there and do commentary. This man who makes David Spade look intimidating and funny, which are two things that are very difficult to do.
Oh, I love Joe Dirt, though.
You would.
I love Joe Dirt.
Anyway, this Penta took on Dominic Mysterio. They built up the four-way match. The stories here are Liv is the one who got Dom booked in the match because it's just a matter of someone from Judgment Day winning. That's really all that matters. And Penta obviously was going to beat Dominic Mysterio. You bring in Braun. Braun lays everybody out, including Penta. And then Finn Balor comes from out of nowhere to lay out Braun Breaker because it is a four-way match, and it makes... Why would you put him on commentary if he's going to do that? Just let him wave. Show a clip. Don't let him sit. And he's a wrestling fan. I've loved this since the Attitude Era. You weaselly little piece of crap. I wish someone would have backhanded him. I wish something would have fallen, like a light fixture or something would have landed on his head. And Paul Heyman comes out in the main event and telegraphs for all of us, him and Seth Rollins, that yes, he is turning on CM Punk. He is turning on Roman Reigns, and he is joining Seth Rollins. Rollins gave the promo I assumed we were going to be talking about 2 weeks from now, because it was going to be Paul Heyman's promo of Punk, I risked everything for you, and you walked out on this company for a decade. Roman, I turned you from a man to a tribal chief. I made you one of the all-time greats, and the first time that you lose, you leave me high and dry with these jackals who broke me in front of my family in the city that I love. So I'm going to make Seth Rollins the greatest of all time. Seth literally telegraphed all that there. And then Punk came out, had no idea Punk was there. Put Punk on commentary during the tag match. He's great on commentary. When he wore the jacket and he had the broken arm, he was wonderful. Anyway, the gist of it is, now you owe me a favor. Seth's not even the whiniest little bitch on this show when you have Tony Hinchcliffe on there.
No, it's true.
So, yeah, Punk comes out and we're like, oh, I didn't realize he was there the whole time. Seth curb stomps him. He almost curb stomps Paul. He's like, you owe me a favor. We know where this is going. Thankfully, there's only one Raw left where we have to suspend disbelief and pretend. And when we get that Seth Rollins heel turn, we're going to get Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a good first feud for Jey Uso. It's going to be a good opportunity for Seth Rollins. And keeping in mind that we can get to Seth Rollins, CM Punk at SummerSlam, Roman Reigns, John Cena at SummerSlam in totally unique dynamics. This is why wrestling is the best, unless they put Tony Hinchcliffe on commentary.
Yeah,
I would rather watch that brick wall behind you. It has more character and integrity, and it's more interesting than this absolute just what the.
It was a big misstep. It was a big misstep, Robert. I'll say this too. It's not going to do him any favors in what his WrestleMania weekend's going to pan out to be because of the fans. He does not feel like a wrestling fan. He does not feel
like
a
wrestling fan. He's a huge mark.
He doesn't.
The guys told me he's a mark. He used to have a wrestling podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what he went out there and did.
That's awful.
Michael, your ears are so big. When you can hold, it's like an arena. You can hold a show in there. Oh, sorry. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow, as we will be every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WW Creative _ISH X account, where you can see actual jokes about professional wrestling, unlike whatever the hell Tony Hinchcliffe was doing and will be doing, where he's ripping people off at the roast of WrestleMania. Rather than go to the Fontainebleau Hotel and see that, just go into a fountain.
Oh.
Or go to the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you can also see our show live on the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, the @SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo, ad-free shows, and Working Stiff. What an episode. What a night last night was for your Florida Gators. So on behalf of the lone survivor, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
I can see down your shirt.